Welcome back to Cityline. We are in our final fabulous segment. And with me, I have three individuals who are here to discuss and inform about the evergreen options for Tacoma Public Utilities. So please join me in welcoming somebody who I don't get to see enough of. But when I do see him, it is joy, it is laughter, because that's just who he is. I'm talking about Dave Rosholm. He is the Senior Account Executive for Tacoma Power. Hello, Dave.
Hello, Amanda. It's so good to see you. I don't get to see you enough, and it's always an absolute joy. So thank you so much for having us.
Oh, it's my pleasure. You brought with you two wonderful gentlemen. I'm talking about Mr. Robin Heinrichs. You are the Executive Director of Support Services for the Franklin Pierce School District. And I'm just going to call you Robin from this point on. Welcome to Cityline.
Thank you very much.
And over here with this fabulous picture that we talked about before we came live on the air. It is an exquisite painting. So we know he has good taste. We're talking about Mr. Brandon Worth. He is the Manager of Communications and Marketing for Tacoma Housing Authority. Welcome, Brandon, to Cityline.
Thanks for having me.
Good. It's so good to have all three of you. So the wind is blowing. I think about Tacoma Power. I think about evergreens blowing in the wind. So Dave, let's talk about what is Evergreen Options and how are Tacoma Housing Authority and Franklin Pierce School District connected to this?
Well, this is a really kind of cool program that we came up with because we're very supportive of renewable energy. It's good for the environment. It helps us ultimately keep rates down. And we also know that a lot of our customers are very supportive of this. So we came up with this program to allow our customers to make a small monthly investment, well, an investment of their choosing, that goes toward renewable energy. And it goes into a fund that we use to fund grants that go back into the community to support renewable energy. And there's two great things about this. One is that the investment is made by the customers, and then the funds, every dollar is taken and awarded back into the community. And the customers who've invested in the program are the ones who choose the recipient. So it's literally of the people and for the people. And we just facilitate it. And we just think that's a great partnership. And then the other part is that the recipients are organizations that are Tacoma Power customers that normally don't get to put something like this in their budget or do this. It's nonprofit agencies, it's public schools, it's government agencies, public agencies. And these are people that don't normally get to do this kind of thing. So we're very pleased to see the community supporting that in such a way and to help facilitate that. So we're very pleased with it. And Point Defiance Zoo has been a recipient, Bates Technical College, Tacoma Schools, and of course, then Franklin Pierce Schools and THA, which we're very pleased about.
Wow, that is such a win-win. It's inspiring. So Robin, then that begs the question, how did you become aware of Tacoma Power's Evergreen Options grant?
Yeah, we've enjoyed a great relationship with Tacoma Public Utilities. They've been a great resource for us in providing ideas about energy conservation, about incentives that might be out there, and grants. And we converse frequently. Whenever there's a windstorm, we're having a conversation. And so we've become, well acquainted, and I think their interest was piqued by the fact that we have a farm, and it's kind of a unique thing for a district to have. And so they actually came out and visited our farm and loved the program and suggested that we might want to consider this Evergreen Options grant that was available, and that it might be a good fit for the farm with some of the sustainable programs that we're trying to implement out there. So that's how we became aware of it, and it was a great idea.
Wow, talk about the gift that keeps on giving. Somebody comes out to your farm and says, I have some money I'd like to give you. Let me show you how to do it. Happy day, Robin.
Yeah, what's not to like?
Yeah, you did. So Brandon, I want to hear about how you became aware of Tacoma Power's Evergreens Option Grant.
Yeah, it's a great question. So with every project that we do at Tacoma Housing Authority, and we're looking for ways to make it sustainable, make it environmentally conscious. How do we partner well with the agencies around us? How do we partner well with the neighborhoods in the area that we're building? And so, working with Tacoma Power and their customers just fit perfectly. So we're just always on the lookout for opportunities like this.
Oh, perfectly said. So, Robin, it's rare to hear that a school district has a farm, which is what you alluded to when you were describing the partnership and how well it does. How does that district's farm fit into Franklin Pierce's educational program? Is it a farm that students actually have a hand in, or is it just, hey, we've got potatoes? How did that happen in the field?
Yeah, it's a real good fit actually with our educational program. The farm teaches kids where their food comes from. Believe it or not, delivering a bunch of carrots with the tops on is a big hit in a grade school, and a lot of them have never seen the tops on a carrot. We also use the produce from the farm in our lunch program at the schools, and the kids love knowing that the potatoes that they saw growing earlier that year, all of a sudden are becoming part of the soup. Actually, some of the kids come out to help plant the potatoes and then later on come back and harvest the potatoes. So they see, a real hands-on example of how food is grown. The older students too benefit from being able to learn about the science of agronomy and how plants grow and what's needed for their growth. And we also try to show them sustainable practices they might use later on if they have a little farm, and how they might be able to work with the environment to produce the food that we eat.
Beautifully described. So in addition, Brandon, there are always some really great things happening at Tacoma Housing Authority. And how does the Crisis Center fit into Tacoma Housing Authority's primary mission?
Yeah, so our mission at Tacoma Housing Authority is to provide high quality, stable, sustainable housing and supportive services to people in need. And so this 12-bed crisis residential center at Arlington Drive is going to house homeless youth, so between the ages of 12 to 17. And so we're working with amazing partners at Community Youth Services to provide a safe place for these young people to stay while CYS then helps them find a welcoming, positive, permanent home. And so it's been a great partnership there, and it matches our mission. And we expect that each year about 500 young people will stay at this building while we help them find a permanent, safe place.
That is beautiful, because we all know right now, housing, homelessness, eviction moratorium, it is just this big ball. And the more we can get fingers in it to untease it, the better we can save our community right now, especially with the wind whipping up and winter coming up. So, Robin, let's talk about this phrase called installing a photovoltaic array at the farm. What is that?
Yeah, a photovoltaic array is basically a solar panel that produces electricity from the sun, from the energy from the sun.
Wow. So how is that connected with this topic?
Yeah, interesting. Our vision in applying for the grant and seeing this as a good fit for the farm revolved around, number one, the science that can be taught to the students about the amazing process where sunlight gets converted directly to electrical energy. So that in itself is a good lesson. But as it applies, you could do that though at any school. As it applies to the farm, our vision was, wouldn't it be great if the solar energy, the electrical energy produced by these panels would be roughly equivalent to the energy consumed in producing some of the crops. So we have a walk-in cooler that's electrically powered. We have fans in the greenhouse. And so you can create a narrative that shows that the energy produced by the solar array is a direct benefit in a sustainable practice at this farm.
Wow. So based upon that, Brandon, is there an interest and is there a program that Tacoma Housing Authority could use that same type of technology for their purposes?
I think so, Amanda. Just don't make me say photovoltaic array. I'll call it a solar panel.
You just said it. Well done.
Right. Okay, good. Yeah. So, Amanda, you brought up the just desperate need we have in Tacoma for this epidemic, this problem with homelessness that in 2017, the city of Tacoma declared this is an emergency for our city. And so we want this crisis residential center to be open for the long haul. And one of the challenges of running a service like this are the costs to keep this thing running. And so this Evergreen Options grant, allowed us to install these solar panels that are literally helping keep the lights on for this building. So those wonderful photovoltaic arrays are really gonna help us for the long haul.
I'm going to send you a t-shirt with that on it so you'll
Yes,
always remember this moment. So we have about a minute and a half left. So I'm going to go right to Dave because I can just hear the audience going. So is this current grant available? Come on, tell us how to get it. So Dave, last minute here, give us the 411.
Will do. Thank you. Yes, the grant is available. We have a deadline coming up in about a month. It's November 13th. And we encourage anyone out there and to qualify, you need to be a Tacoma Power customer, nonprofit agency, public agency, school district, nonprofit university, government agency. You can take advantage of $50,000 free to put toward a project like this. And it can be solar, it can be wind, it can be, geothermal for that matter. Solar seems to work better, but we'll support anything that you want to do. And the great thing is you can go online to mytpu.org/EO grant. So that's like Evergreen Options Grant, and apply online. It doesn't take that long at all. And your fellow customers will get to choose whether you are going to be awarded $50,000. And we just think it's a great alignment. It's a great partnership. November 13th, mytpu.org/EO grant. And if you have any questions, you can email us at evergreen@cityoftacoma.org.
My love and my appreciation to this trinity that I have with me right now, and also to the individuals on each of your teams that made this work. It would be a 1,000 people plus Zoom phone call if I could say thank you enough to all of them. So thank you for what you have done for our community. And I want to check back in with you, let's say around springtime, and I want to hear about how the solar winter worked. Is that a deal?
Deal.
All right, perfect. Thank you, all three of you. Well, that wraps up another great segment of Cityline. It's really a pleasure to be in your home from my kitchen. We've given you some really beautiful things to think about today. So here's my golden nuggets. Remember to vote. Remember to distance. Remember to wear your mask. And above all, remember to keep yourself spiritually, mentally, and heartfelt connected with people during this time of social distancing. And when you come back, as always, we'll be waiting for you right here at Cityline. Take care.
Tacoma, that's my home, yeah. Tacoma, that's my home. Oh, you're from Seattle. Oh, you're from LA. Oh, you're from Chicago, but Tacoma's where you'll stay. Oh, you're from Seattle. Oh, you're from LA. Oh, you're from Chicago, but Tacoma's where you'll stay, yeah. Tacoma, that's my home. From the fires to the loam. Tacoma, that's my home, yeah. Tacoma, that's my home. Tacoma, that's my home. The place home.